All right, I believe we are live. And welcome to the channel. Today, we're going to be talking about low income families that are struggling to find low income housing, Section 8 housing. But I think the main principle we're trying to address is the housing surge. Now, before we get into that a little bit, I'm going to give some introductions and then we'll move on and talk about several different topics. I'm the owner of Section8Consulting.com. I work with hundreds of clients every month. I essentially help them find housing, get vouchers, and so on. Not specifically the housing search, but a high number of services, when it comes to utilizing vouchers, portability, discrimination issues, complaints, and many other various aspects. Now, this is going to be a live video, and if you're here right now, it is live, but this video is published for 12/12/2021, approximately at 4:25 Central Standard Texas time or Mountain Time, whatever you want to call it. So if you find it in about an hour from now, it probably won't be live. Beyond that, as I had mentioned, it is a live video, and if you're on a tablet, your TV, your phone, and so on, or some other device, you should be able to chat with me in the right window and ask any questions that you'd like in relation to your case or other issues. Okay. That being said, one of the bigger issues that I'm seeing play out is, when COVID hit, that changed the low income housing market. And I think it may have changed it permanently from what I'm seeing. And part of that change that I'm noticing is where the battle used to be getting a voucher, now it's okay, so I've got a voucher and now I can't find a place. I'd mentioned in many of the videos, getting that voucher used to be the toughest part, but I think where we've landed with this is, a lot of landlords have become gun shy. They didn't get paid rent through most of this pandemic, and it caused the housing market to overheat by 20 or 30%. So, in other words, the same landlords a year and a half ago charged 20 to 30% less. You combine that with the factor of around 40 million evictions nationwide, and maybe another 7 to 8 million homeowners losing their home, and you have a tidal wave of people that are now all entering this market that were never low income to start with. Maybe they were middle class, and now they're zero class. They have nothing left. And so it's put a strain on this system at an unbelievable pace. I know that because there have been several segments of this year where I was hammered by people that needed my assistance with housing to figure out the system and other things. And it became, man, it was some long days, through January, through March, like to kill me with consults. Took a breather and the summer hit and it went wild to the point that it almost became beyond what I was able to do or help people with. There was simply too many people. We were reaching around 8 or 9,000 emails a month. It's too much. So, anyways, I'm going to address a comment real quick in the comment section here. I see Hannah. Happy holidays, Hannah. How are you? Can Section 8 Housing Authority agency be sued by LL? Well, I'm not familiar with the acronym LL. You need to explain what LL means. And hello, Cameron. How are you? Happy holidays. Hello, I'm in Indiana, and this is what's happening to my son. He got the certificate for the Section 8, but could not find an apartment. He lost his opportunity as of 12/3. Now, you're still early on with that loss, so that could go to arbitration, and you could get the extension for an additional 90 days and possibly another 90 after that, depending on their policies at that specific housing authority. So that could be fought still. You're not too late. When people contact me and say, "Hey, Jay, it's been a year, it's been 5 years, it's too late," then you're still within that window where that could be potentially resolved. Sometimes we just need to show that there's medical and other reasons why that person might not have been able at their top searchability at the time, and that would be sufficient under the 2008 Disability Act to get that extension. So it's a clever way of doing things, obviously, but that's what could help. Okay. So, that's the primary issue now. It used to a lot of what people utilize my services for were, supposed to get the voucher, but now we're struggling with the housing issue, and we're having to look at a plethora of different ways to do this now. doing the search, working with brokers, real estate agents. Used to be Go Section 8 or Section 8 Go, affordable housing online, Facebook Marketplace, using a wide variety of things. And then, you paired it with the concept that most housing authorities employees are working from home. So they're half staffed and then the holidays. So it's made things rather tedious, but the one thing I'm going to say is I know a lot of housing searches are difficult, but after Christmas, the day after, and January 1st, when new federal budgets roll out, I think that a lot of things are starting to calm down a bit, and it's going to get a little bit easier depending on where you are. Now, if you're a resident of the state of California, state of New York, state of Florida, and these big areas, it's still pretty tough, especially California. I do a lot of work out there, and I'm even noticing some reactions out of Chicago that are pretty severe, where a lot of people are leaving Chicago and they're transitioning down to Arizona and other areas. Good afternoon, go to. How are you? Happy holidays again. And then Cameron goes on to say, we are in Hammond, Indiana, and the housing authority is a joke. Well, I couldn't agree with you more, Cameron, about that. I think I've spoke pretty extensively about housing authorities around America, over 300 videos worth. I've never once really sided with them outside of the housing authority in Seattle. Yeah, and it's a complex issue that has not been addressed and in proper training. And yeah, there's a lot of things that could be said about housing authorities and the way that they deal with people in order to get vouchers, and the assistance that they actually offer is very little in most cases. So, when it comes to that, you won't find me disagreeing with you. I should also remind you folks that, the housing authority are county employees, and that is the housing authority. The housing authority is not HUD. HUD is in DC. HUD is like the police that investigate housing authorities. There's no association between the two. HUD gives money to the housing authority. The housing authority is run by county employees, and they pretty much do whatever the hell they want until they get caught. Okay. When they get caught, HUD sues them. All right. So a lot of you think those two are connected. They're not. One of them will sue the other. And there's hundreds of cases of that. In fact, Marissa Fudge, the lady that was elected over HUD now, she's been on a rampage suing a lot of them for, very judicious actions, discrimination, and many other issues that have been going on for a long time, especially in the southern states where those good old boy politics are still playing a big part in how people are able to get vouchers and utilize them. So, a lot of things are coming to light. If y'all hear a yelp, that is my cat, one of the many. And so I should mention, guys, I have a lot of cats. It's a big part of my channel. They're my little Hollywood stars. Matter of fact, there's one. If you look carefully, that's Snow Bear. And so they're a big part of the channel. And he apologizes. He needs treats right now. And I'm going to try to service that need. Excuse me for a minute. Come on, Bubba. Let's have treats. Come on, Bubba. Here's some treats. Oh, juicy treat. All right. Sorry about that, guys. Sometimes the simple things do take precedence over a live video. And yes, those cats are important to me, and that's what matters. Okay. So, just in case y'all didn't know that. All right. Well, it looks like he's a little bit spooked. He's one of my little rescues. And so he's easily spooked. It's taking a long time to get his trust. So, kind of like my clients, a lot of you guys, you come in skeptics, and then it takes a while to build trust, But I think when you deal with people that have a fine understanding of Section 8, HUD, and so on, I think most of you have lived long enough to have a fine understanding when people's bullshitting you, when you're being sold snake oil. And people that sell snake oil, they don't last long on YouTube. Certainly they don't last 7 years. So, oh, it looks like he's actually eating the treats now. So that's good. This here's a completely wild cat that I've managed to somehow earn his trust. So, all right, guys. So, we're talking about the low income struggles and the voucher. So, what I'm considering right now is I don't offer this right now, but I'm looking at it over the next 2 weeks, all the way up to Christmas, how I can better serve. Now, as you know, we've been doing this a long time, with the vouchers. And so I'm looking at that and trying to figure out a way that I can be of assistance to y'all in that respect. So there's a lot of things to consider on that, and whether or not it would be successful or not, and whether or not it would be a benefit to y'all before I offer it as a service. And just in case y'all want to know again, I'm going to put up some links, okay? Bear with me. The first two links are my website and how you book an appointment. Look, appointments and spending money on me to do work or casework for you is something that first you should investigate. You should make sure I have the appropriate credentials to do so and that I can meet the necessary interest you have, that I would be able to meet that need, okay? Due diligence is always required. There's all kinds of people selling things, okay, that have no idea what they're doing. So make sure that you always make an informed decision when you deal with somebody. All right, beyond that, I'm going to put one other thing here and then I'm going to read some comments. I see y'all are putting up cats and dog signs, so I appreciate that. One thing I love about people in my YouTube channel is we started with the very unpopular topic of vouchers in Section 8 a long time ago, and we migrated to include all my Hollywood stars, which are my cats, and there's a lot of them. And y'all have been most welcoming about that. And it's played a big part and role in when I call you guys and work with you, because some of you, some people that I work with are facing homelessness. And we try to ensure that not only you're housed, but we ensure that the animals, the things that have played a big part in your life remain in your life and don't end up being put down at some shelter because you've lost everything. So it's important to me. The pets do play a very big part in whether they're emotional pets or just pets you've had in the family for a long time. Next link I'm going to put up just reviews. Look, you take those at face value. People leave all kinds of comments. I welcome both good and bad. Matter of fact, if you're having an emotional day, need to take it out somebody, I encourage you to click that link and leave a horrifying review. I'm not scared of reviews. I've got a lot of them. It doesn't bother me. My life and my business and my consulting work does not hinge on whether or not you give me 1 star, 2 stars, and so on. That's why you'll never hear me beg on here to give me a thumbs up, to comment, subscribe, and press every fucking button in the channel. A lot of people do that in their videos. I think it's rather annoying. So anyways, utilize those reviews as you wish. And if you think that I have a fair and reasonable reputation, you're welcome to consult with me. Moving on from that, guys, I want to talk about a few things that are going to be in addition to the vouchers and the housing search. Besides me thinking about what I'm going to do in about 2 weeks, I may offer that. All right. It's probably the best chance you're going to have outside of what you've already done. That is if I believe that it would be useful. Okay. So I'm going to take on a few comments and then we're going to move on to another part of this channel. I got to scroll back. So if you've commented, I'm going back a bunch of comments here. Sullivan Bryant says, yes, California's up here. I live out there. So yes, California's a tough state. I agree. I'm going to New Mexico. I'm going to lose the voucher January 1st. 60 days scare, can't find housing. So RB is the name of the person who made that comment. RB, you need to get an extension for that. One of the best ways to force the housing authority in a position where they grant that, stop by your local ER, have your blood pressure checked, and then you now have created a physical issue or mental issue or a physical issue where you unfortunately your disability caused you to move slower, and thus they would have to then give it whether they want to or not. Is that a shady thing to do? Absolutely. But why am I good at what I do? Because I understand what those loopholes are. You either take them or you don't. It's like my good Christian folks I've talked to. They don't want to move to the dark side to have me do things. Not that I'm breaking the law or asking anybody to lie, but the thing about it is, guys, you can pray under the bridge or you can pray in your home. That's what I tell you, And I've had a lot of people say, well, I guess I'll have to ask for forgiveness. That's the reality. You're dealing with a rigged system. You have to be able to prepare to meet the demand, the course and the plot of what they want if you want to get something done quickly, okay? If you don't, then, a lot of what you're doing will be conducted from a homeless shelter, under a bridge, or on a sidewalk when you lose everything over high morals and high ethics that aren't going to help you a damn bit. Okay. Well, maybe you're moral. Maybe God will help you, but that's where the line stops. All right. So let's move it on. Loria. Hello, everyone. And hello, Loria. Happy holidays. Hopefully Santa Claus is visiting you and all your pets, if you have any. Cameron Pashaw, where can I apply for an extension for my son? Well, so the complaint should be filed with the housing authority as a first step. Procedural. You need to follow the procedural steps and then bump it up to an OBM and HUD. If you don't want to do that, my suggestion is try to research it. If you're not able to research on your own, then it would be a good idea to consult with somebody that knows about this, myself or somebody else you feel that is qualified. Hannah, amen, she says. Sullivan Bryan says, hello, kitty. Yes, got lots of those. Gail M. Greenlee, happy Sunday, Big J, meow. Boy, y'all really do love the pets, so that's a good thing. Drea W., I'm worried I won't find anything. Leasing ending at 11:30. Goodness, that is quick. Well, that's already passed. I'm hoping you're meaning 11/30/2022. Roland Bays, hey man, now Roland's been around for a minute, so he's become one of my regulars. So he's earned his bar stool at the Cheers bar. A lot of you guys have. You find some of you have gotten what you need from me, but I guess that my I don't know, unusual personality and unusual videos kind of keep y'all entertained, so y'all stay around for a while. RB goes on. Housing won't help me. Said that they are true pencil pushers. Once they cut a voucher, they're not required in any federal law to do anything further for you. You're on your own. So we throw you in the water, whether you've been trained to swim or not, and then you do it. Some people figure out the process while they wait 15 years for a voucher. Some don't. Some hire me, and then they get what they need. So, again, I'm not here to sell anybody anything. But, guys, if you haven't figured it out, then you need to get with somebody that does understand that system so you don't spend the next decade growing old hoping and wishing for something that may or may not happen for you, okay? Daniela Faulkner, my PHA told me. So PHA, guys, means the housing authority. Okay, so because you're wondering about that acronym, told me that since they told me verbally that was proper notice, that was not proper notice. If it's not served by email, if it is not served by mail, then there's no evidence of that, and that would never pass arbitration. Word of mouth is good for certain things legally, but certainly not bad. Anyways, you now have to be out by December 31st and have nowhere to go, can't find housing. Well, I don't know that that's going to be necessarily true for you. It just depends on how willing you are to navigate the system, Danielle. Look, there's always a solution to things. That's what I do for a living. I figure out solutions for tough and difficult situations. It doesn't always produce results. In fact, I fail 7% of the time. I win 93% of the time. It's still better odds than you scratching off a scratch off. It's still better odds than you trying to play the lottery. And it's certainly better odds than the 1% ratio you're going to get from your local counselor or 211 or some other idiot. So you guys have to make your own decision behind that stuff. Drea W. Yes, I love my daughter's doggy. Not leaving her out. Nope. Let me tell you something. No pet goes unhoused. I'm not gonna see people out on the sidewalk with their cats, dogs, birds, lizards, and those of you that like spiders. I can't say I'm a big fan of that one. I can do snakes, but boy, the spider thing really gets me going. Yeah, surprising, right? Considering that I'm a pretty big fan of most things. Boy, but you toss a tiny spider in my hair and I'm going to town. I'm sorry. That's where I stop. That's where the mental line is drawn. Do not, spiders, I can't do it. Quick story about that. When I was a very young child, maybe 7 or 8, I was at my dad's job. He worked at the State Department for Louisiana. And there were 2 big azalea bushes, and children are, and they run without looking. So I ran between 2 azaleas. Now, in the deep South Baton Rouge and the South Swampy, we got these big old hand-sized spiders that hang out on webs, and you know what I did? I ran between 2 bushes, and then the spider web saran wrapped that big banana spider on my face. That ruined me for life. Okay, that ruined me for life. Makes no damn difference if it's a itty bitty or not. You ever have a big giant spider saran wrapped to your face when you're a kid like that, you're ruined. To this day, I don't run between bushes. Look, I look before I run. That stupid shit I did. Man, let me tell you, that that spider might not have been that big, but I tell you what, in those days it seemed pretty damn big, and I ain't doing that again. So yes, I'll be happy to assist you all with everything but spiders. You got a pet spider? Please tell me it's a bird. All right, so I had to get that out there. Man, my skin's crawling thinking about it. All right, gently moving. The Ozarks, those have giant spiders. Please stop. Now y'all gonna work me with the spiders. Look, I'm afraid I've got to spray for spiders. We can't do that. So look, if y'all think I'm gonna have a forest full of spider webs and giant spiders popping around my lot in my magic forest, that ain't happening. I can't look. We can't have that stuff popping in and out my hair at night and all that. Boy, I'm telling you, this can get bad out there. I will call somebody. Look, y'all want to? If y'all read on Eyewitness News, there's a forest fire in Ozark. That'd be me. That will be me. We're not doing the spiders. All right, guys. So, moving on. So y'all lost me completely on that spider thing. Look, I'm not housing spiders. You'll have to keep that in the box and hide it. All right, so I want to talk to you guys about HOPWA. I don't know how many of y'all know about that. So HOPWA. I think after the 80s, when the HIV and AIDS struck America for what it is a disease, and it's not an intentional one. It affects a lot of people. It doesn't care who you have sex with, trust me. Lots of people have it. It affects every nation, every color, every race. So, anyways, HOPWA is designed for people that are struggling with their health. I'm sorry, health. Everybody knows somebody that has suffered from it. Now, not that many people really die from that anymore because they're able to manage it. They have a lifetime now. It isn't as killer. Talk about pandemics. That's a lot like a pandemic, except it had a high ratio of killing people. Okay, look, even Magic Johnson had it. You think that man's gay? No. So, anyways, they are giving $49 million for funding. So if you know somebody in the family, friends, family, coworkers, and so on, now would be a great time to utilize a housing voucher under the HOPWA HOPWA program. Okay. So while you guys are trying to help yourself here with me and so on, and through consulting and everything else, you'd always use these things that I'm telling you about to help other people because that is the purpose. Nobody pays me to make these videos, so what's free is free, and you should help anybody you know. There are lots of people in very bad health because of that stuff, and I think this is a good thing for them. Moving on from that, I'd like to talk about another thing. Let me take a look here, guys. Help me take my mind off the spiders again. Okay. I thought I had made a notation here, but I did not. All right, guys. So I'm going to answer a few more questions, and I want to talk to you guys about Ozark real quick because you may be new to the channel. You don't know about this, and I blend some of my personal life, my Hollywood stars, which are my cats, so y'all get a little bit of everything. It keeps it more interesting than us just talking about the boring stuff, which is housing authorities and vouchers. Um, so it looks like, it looks like bunch of people laugh because of the spider. I'm seeing laughs and smiley faces all along for the spider bit. Beautiful Butterfly says, how long does it take for a pre-application approval or denial? Depending on the city. Now, of course, I don't know if you're in a big or small city. I wish you had mentioned that part, but I would imagine in most situations, a pre-approval application is 2 3 weeks, depending on the skill and level of the person reviewing it. So we don't know if the person is actually at the housing authority reviewing the preliminary application as somebody that is actually a certified specialist there. It could be hand over the extra files to the portability specialist. It actually depends on the skill of the worker and the demand. And the demand is pretty high right now. And of course, if you're in one of the more absurd states where things are always tight, like New York, California, Florida, and so on, it could be a little bit more about wait. Mary Sample points out beautifully that woods equal spiders eat bad bugs. Well, again, I cannot have spiders popping in and out my hair in my forest that I bought. So let's talk about those Ozarks real quick, and then I'm going to answer some more questions and get away from this damn spiders. So as y'all know, I bought my own private little forest there in Ozarks, which is northern Arkansas. Ozarks, if you look it up, does run throughout several states. It's a region or area of the U.S., and I'm building a house from inception. I literally have a dirt road. It is in a non-incorporated area, which means there's no fire, no ambulance, no water, no nothing. Drilling my own well. Now we have power out there and so on, but The purpose is obvious for my own reasons, but I mean, the other purpose is a lot of you could see from the hardest point of doing that, as you see me do. And again, I'm not hiring a bunch of contractors to help me build the house. When I reach certain points like air conditioning where it gets serious, I may have to. But a lot of this, you will see one person do it, roof from bottom, from the first brick up, man. And so this will allow all of you, whether you're suffering from disabilities, you're old in so many different ways, you would be able to see what it would take to inexpensively build a little home for yourself. Okay. And then if you own the home, then you own no rent. Look, on that forest, my taxes are $7. That's it. That's it. You drill your own well, and so the water's free after that. I paid the 35 for them to drill it, and then I own the water for life. The solar panels, I pay the 12 grand, and I save myself $72,000. I never pay another electric bill ever. I don't not even interested in connecting it to the grid. In other words, if I want to run my air conditioning at -5 degrees, 24 hours a day, if I want to air condition part of Sharp County, then that's my prerogative because the sun gives me energy for free and I do what the hell I want with it. And I don't need anybody's permission. You see my point? And there won't be any bills, credit approvals, and fucking payment plans. That's a lot of what life is, paying for luxuries, right? So the point is, I give you guys fish by y'all paying me for consults, and I show you how to get through a system. Well, we're going to experience what it would mean to exit the system, and for some of you, we'll see that it is actually possible for you to get through that. Am I suggesting you could afford 12,000 in solar panels or 3,500 to drill a well? No, I'm not saying that you have to go to the extremes that I would go for, but I'm going to show you from the hardest point, and it does give inspiration for some to wish, and for others, it may be very much a realistic possibility to exit holding the hand of the government. Okay. And I think that's an important thing for you to see. And I want you to see it with one person, not a bunch of expensive contractors working on my job site, just me buying it tool by tool, nail by nail, screw by screw. You'll see it. Okay. That'll start around in August. Okay. So, and that will be a big part. And y'all see also my cats will be supervising the lot. They will be killing roaches and spiders, especially. They will be on the hunt for that, protecting me while we do that. So, all right, let's get on to some real things here. I just want to mention the trip to Ozark is not a vacation. I own the property outright, I own my vehicle outright, and I will own this house and everything that's attached to it, including water, electricity. The only bills that I will really have is food and my internet because unfortunately, I'm not going to buy a satellite because I'm too damn tight to pay internet. I'm sorry. There's a line I draw. Okay, guys. So let's take a look here. Shannon Cooper, thank you for this. I would love to make an appointment. I'd love to talk to you. Truly, a lot of you I'd love to talk to. Here's a neat thing you guys don't always realize. A lot of you book appointments for a fraction of time we talk, and I end up talking to you anyways for an hour. Again, guys, it's not always your casework's not always about money. You see my point? We talk and get it done, and we do it to the best of our ability. It's not, if I didn't like what I was doing, I wouldn't be here. You see my point? If I didn't enjoy wrecking housing authorities to get you the vouchers, if I didn't get that special treat in the brain of pleasure from wrecking them and getting y'all what I want, I wouldn't do this. You see my point? It's not clocking into a job. So it's every bit worth consulting with me. All right, moving on. So moving on, beautiful butterfly. How long does it take for a pre-application approval? Okay, so I think I went over that, but I didn't go over it for Connecticut. Fair and reasonable expectation without holidays or end of year, I would say 2 to 3 weeks, sometimes even sooner. If you're in a ghost town where the housing authority is one person in an old 1950s house and that's it, it could be super quick. It really is contingent on the city. So I know you're saying you're in the state of Connecticut. Connecticut is still a big place and there are lots of big cities. So RB goes on to say, how do you convince a landlord to take a voucher? That's a curious thing that you brought up. And I think that I probably should make a video specifically about that. Look, guys, I know this may seem the most ridiculous way to do things, but it's probably one of the more successful ways. When you go to a private landlord and you find them on Craigslist or you find them on Facebook Marketplace because you found out that the list of housing authority, that's where every other fool goes, or you went to affordable housing online where every other idiot goes, and those landlords are probably just sick to death of answering their phone and talking to people because they got nothing to give. So we've addressed the private market. So what I suggest with all my clients, run your credit, run your criminal, make a portfolio of your job, make a portfolio of prior properties you lived, and as of current where you stay now, and you're addressing the concept of moving to their property, you would show, hey, look, this is my home. Do you see garbage? Do you see hole in the wall? Do you see trash everywhere? No. So you're putting on your case. Now, a lot of you guys like to call private land. Oh, by the way, I've got a government welfare voucher, a shitty voucher. Could you give me some assistance? Of course not. They're going to invite you right out the fucking door. You start with proving your case. Don't say shit about a voucher when you contact private landlords. Present your case. In addition to everything that I put into Plendora of information I'm putting in front of you, saving you that time and money, I'd also like to show you that I receive SSI, SSD. So not only do I have all the payment, 80% of that payment covered through the voucher, here's a next to guarantee with my Social Security payment that there's almost zero opportunity that I would never pay you. And you wouldn't need to re-rent because, to be frank with you, it's so damn hard to find a house to be able to utilize this that I probably would never leave. So, believe it or not, as childlike as that might seem, presenting that case a lot like you would as if you were applying for a job has been wildly successful with a lot of my clients. It has been wildly exciting. I've had clients do that. Now, mind you, I have over 200 landlords I deal with. I just signed one up that's got 88 properties. And so recently, a lady did that to me. I was surprised. Not on my advice. She didn't even know who I am. And she presented herself to me. Now, of course, I don't own those properties, but it was quite impressive. And by the time the information and her story rolled out, she was a better candidate than a lot of the people that just felt entitled with a good credit score and a great job that wanted to be market rate with no voucher. So, to be frank, she gave me the perfect case. I would have done it anyways, but you see my point. So there goes my talking cat again. He is a busy bee today. I tell you what, I might have to put out a second bucket of treats to calm him down. He got caught out. He got caught out last night in the frosty. That's what happens when kitty cats don't like to come indoors when you tell them. So he had to stay out in the cool weather last night. I think he's just a little bit bitter about that. My cats are spoiled. Unfortunately, I'm a bad father, I guess. So he's hoodling right now, and I know what it's about. Just damn treats. All right. Let's get back here and take a look at these. Okay, beautiful butterfly. Okay, so I answered that one. RB. Okay, answered that one. Gail M. Greenley, January 1st, and new Section 8 vouchers are coming out. Man, January 1st, new federal budgets, new first of the year budgets. You're talking about January through March. That's when nobody wants to do anything. Everybody wants to follow the herd of cattle during the summer. And that's a horrible time to do this. January through March are ideal. Why? Nobody wants to move in the middle right after Christmas. Nobody wants to move in the winter. So all the housing authorities are flush with cash. So is the government. So is HUD. And virtually nobody wants to move. That is the perfect time for most of you guys to do this. The most opportune times of the year is January through March, and you would be making a fatal mistake by waiting till it's nice and warm and sunshiny when the rest of the nation wants to move. That would be a fatal mistake for a lot of you. So I would encourage you, if you haven't decided to move on, pick up and do your moving or get this done, that you start now, seriously now. That way, when the stroke of midnight on January 1st, you're fully prepared while other people are just thinking about it, okay? That would be a wise move. Moving on, gently moving, just getting window units. Forget the central unit if you're going solar. Well, the temperatures where I'm moving out there in Ozarks, they don't ever really get past 91. So I think that you are absolutely correct. I don't need a full central air or forced air system. I do think that we need reasonable heating. I need to look a little bit more into the coal situation for northern Arkansas. And I think some of y'all from out there. So Again, guys, if you're new to the channel, we're blending, talking about my personal cats, the moving of our office and business in my home to Arkansas, and of course, the main subject, Section 8, and so on. Pepper Joe gives me 2 thumbs up and 100% appreciate that. The best Christmas gift ever. Gently moving, you might be underestimating how much solar is in need for an AC. Well, I'm not underestimating because I have not yet estimated the exact amount of wattage, but I do believe I need 31 panels at 400 watts, which should produce 30% more than my actual usage. I think the issue, gently moving, that we should look at when calculating energy is I'm only one person that takes one shower. I don't have a family and all that. So the actual usage for my home wouldn't be that much. I probably would produce a lot of extra electric that would just go out to unless I have batteries. So I don't use a lot of utilities, guys. I just don't. Now this computer where y'all make me store my casework and files, that thing's always flaming hot. I'm thinking about putting it by my bed because it blows lots of hot air. So, but yeah, I'm going to take a look. I haven't calculated that yet. So there's many things we'll be learning along the way the 9 months before we make the big move. And so y'all wonder, I'm going to live in an RV, and then I'm going to cut a slot into the lot of that property I bought by forest, and try not to chop any trees down to keep the forest. And then that will be live for quite a while I do this. And it's going to be a learning experience. And I will lean on anybody and everybody I can that are former and retired plumbers, electricians, HVAC, everything. I'm not an expert in those areas. But one thing I know, if people could travel this nation 200 years ago with a wagon and a dollar to the name and they managed to live through that, okay, then I'm sure I'll be fine. RB, I'm an older woman owned by, okay, so RB says, I'm older woman, owned 5 houses, great credit, just got sick, that's all. Landlords have assumed I'm scum and told me they wouldn't pass inspections. RB, I'm sorry to hear that. Of course, I'm not fully apprised of your whole situation, so there could be lots of remedies to assist you with that. The thing is, guys, if you don't understand your full federal, state, and county rights, then people will absolutely walk all over you, including the housing authority, okay, and their HQS, which is your housing quality inspection. That's how people have been since the beginning of time. If you are not fully apprised of your full rights, and it's your job to figure it out, research it, and so on, as much of a pain in the ass as it is, then people will absolutely walk all over you because they know that you're uninformed and you haven't any desire to educate yourself further. I'm not suggesting that's you, RB. I think that you're an older, intellectual lady. I just think that you don't have all the appropriate tools. You go to war, you need a gun, right? So what I do a lot with my clients is I arm them. I armed them heavily to be able to remedy housing authorities and that walking all over your face that they're doing. Moving on, Monette Jenkins, happy holidays, Merry Christmas. I'm hoping you're not going to get cold in your stocking for being bad. Santa Claus will come and visit you. And Monette Jenkins goes on to say, I'm moving January 6th, the day after my birthday, guys, which is January 5th. That's good news. And Monette goes on to say, I agree with you, Jay. I'm moving to Houston on January 6th. Well, welcome to town. You'll be my neighbor. But please, guys, don't show up at my house. I realize that I am super, super out there by publishing my phone number and my home address. But see, that lends to the fact that people that run scams and bullshit, they'll never put their face on anything. They're certainly not going to give you their phone number and their real home address, okay? I do it. Doesn't bother me. But please, no pop-by visits. But welcome to town, Monette. RB, I've been discriminated against because I am white. One guy told my caregiver. Okay, RB, point taking. I don't, because you're white. Okay, well, then I guess most white people in trouble then. Pepper Joe, looks like message was redacted. YouTube can be pickle when it comes to words you guys use. Sometimes it retracts things. I'm not touching a keyboard, so I didn't retract it. Sincerely blessed. I'm sorry. I live in Houston, Texas. Katie, geez, you're down the road. In 20 minutes, flat could be there. Now, Katy is a nice area of Houston. I've got to admit it. Katy and Sugar Land are nice places. Got lots of friends out there. Jasmine Victoria, hey, welcome back, girl. Jasmine's a longtime member. We respect her a great deal. She hangs out, likes to listen to me talk. RB says, I need to call you ASAP, need help. Yeah, please do. So you can book me through the website anytime you're ready. Tammy Court Lane, after passing the initial assessment, COC, what next? Tammy, so after you pass that assessment, then you should be speaking with a housing navigator for continuum of care housing first, and they will instruct you whether they're going to be issuing you RRH, which is Rapid Rehousing Program, or PSH, Permanent Supportive Housing Program. And both of those are a voucher, which you can utilize where you want to. I would not accept any list properties. In other words, project based. That's bad news. So, federal guidelines, that program and the process they go through in a bureaucracy can take up to 35 days. So just understand that it's not up to completely fast. If you live in the state of Florida and you apply for COC and its vouchers, that could end up being 60 to 90 days. Pepper Joe goes on to say, if you live in a building that is a HUD voucher owned, can a tenant get a voucher that they can travel? Okay, so let's clarify, Pepper Joe. All right, so when a building accepts tax credits, it becomes a lich property, which means it is a subsidy property. You can either, it's usually the case there, is what they call tenant-based housing. It means it's not a voucher. It means that the specific unit, unit A1, is subsidized. When you move out of unit A1, you're done. You have to start the process again. Here is the inclusion. Here's the particular on the rule of how you can defeat that. You may request that the housing authority, they convert your tenant-based housing subsidy over to a housing choice voucher or a mainstream voucher. And at that point, you would be able to use portability to find another housing authority, another city or state, and they may absorb or bill at that point. That is a process that initially may take 2 weeks to 45 days if things are running smoothly. Okay. And it's a long conversation, trust me. So I'm on it, Jenkins. Is it true there's going to be a new voucher January 1st? I know originally last January, when this year began, 2021, we were talking about universal vouchers. Unfortunately, we used that big federal budget for the pandemic. I do not believe that there will be new universal vouchers, but I do believe there will be new funding for vouchers, period. So, yes, we will have the beginning of the year budget starting January 1st. And for all of you, I would suggest getting in line early. Things have changed now. Used to, guys, they would post, we've had the waiting list closed since 1916. We're going to open it next month for 30 minutes. Now, because we have a lot of money, things have changed. And they're opening, rather than closing the housing authority list and all that stuff every 2 to 5 years, what they're doing is every couple of months are opening up for 3 days. They'll suck in as much as they can get, and then they'll close, and then they'll and do it again in about 3 months. It's a better system. It means smaller crowds. So as they get the vouchers and the money, they're just giving them out rather than sitting there for 5 years straight, having the list closed, and then trying to accept 80,000 people. You see how it's a smarter way of doing it? So that is a new way. So you have to keep tuned in to know when your housing authority is going to do a pop-up. And a lot of these pop-ups, man, are for 2 days. And look, you don't think of these when they say, oh, well, they publish it on your TV, you're watching TV, and they say, hey, we're going to open it Wednesday. This is not Sears and Roebuck. You don't wait till the doors open at 9. These are computers, and they open up the online applications at server time. Do you guys know what server time is? That means at 0100 midnight, those applications are open. That's when the computer is instructed to open it. You need to set your alarm. If you wait till 9 in the morning, all the people that know technology and understand a computer and server time understand that they've got a 9-hour lead on you. A lot of my clients know, hey, man, set your alarm for midnight because at 12:01, we know that the mainframe, the computers that are opening the portal, are going to do it at midnight. Not at Sears and Roebuck. Let's open the Starbucks at 9 a.m. You guys are built on an old system of things, of thinking. Doesn't work that way, guys. So yes, it will open at server time. Moving on, George Navarro. Can you port with PSH? No, you cannot, that I'm aware of. How are you doing, George? Yes, and thank you for asking. Sincerely blessed. I'm disabled. I need help getting Section 8 voucher. Just get the runaround. Well, we've designed a system for runaround. We hire housing authority employees. We make them county employees. Most of them, just got the GED out the bubble gum machine. It's not a big deal. Lots of people have GEDs. That's not the insult. But here's the point: a lot of these people they hire, their capabilities are to pick up the telephone, to say whatever just comes out of their mouth on the phone, and that's just what it is. Very few people that work at housing authorities actually read the manual. Now, if you manage to get the director of services, the executive director, the portability specialist, people that actually went and took certifications, otherwise, the person you're speaking to the phone would be the equivalent of the woman that's at the Taco Bell window with an attitude that doesn't know shit. Okay, that's why when you go to McDonald's and you get upset at the people at the window, they have buttons of cheeseburgers on the fucking button. That's the level of ignorance you're dealing with when you deal with some housing authorities. And it's not a technicality for them to give you a runaround. They simply do not have an answer. When I've challenged housing authority employees on cases I was dealing with personally, anytime I quote federal, state, or law to them, the whole phone line goes dead. You know why? They simply cannot, they don't have an answer. And out of shame, that phone line just goes dead. Oh, I guess the call got disconnected. No, you're just an ignorant person and you can't compete with me, not on that telephone line. Let me call back, talk to your supervisor because clearly your training stopped at page one. So again, it's not intended to be insulting for those that just got a job at housing. There are plenty of good people with good intentions, but until we start training these people to do other things other than lie, and and tell people whatever they want on the phone. But I can't tell you how many times I've heard this is why they don't like communicating by email because a lot of them would get themselves in trouble. So, anyways, I did it. I said I wasn't going to do it. I just talk shit about the housing authorities again. Y'all know how I feel about them. I've experienced hundreds of them, and I'm just not happy with it. Okay. Sincerely blessed. Okay, so I covered that. Pepper Joe, thank you. Pepper Joe, I want to tell you one more thing about that PSA. There is a possibility, my friend. Okay, so don't close the door in that chapter. There's a possibility, but it needs to be looked into. Julia from Vegas. Hello, happy holidays. Santa is coming to see you. They have no housing available. I've been homeless since the 4th of July. Okay. I'm disabled. You're way too old to be on the streets, Julia. That's not good at all. 57. Okay. And you're female. Nothing is out there now. What? Julie, my suggestion is that first of all, you need to be apprised. You need to start studying SBDAT COC test to go get a coordinated entry, to take the coordinated entry and hit as many counties as you can to defeat their tests. And then if you know that there's intentionally not much housing in that area, then now's the best time to put all your stuff in the Pinto and just move out of town. Look, guys, a lot of you are trying to survive the same city that put you out on the street. Look, when shit goes bad in your city, sometimes I recommend people just pack up with what they've got left, cut your fucking losses, and move to the next city where we know there are resources. A lot of you are hardwired. Okay, well, I'm going to suffer through this. I'm going to live in the ditch, and I've got to be in Baltimore County. I'm not leaving Baltimore, even though they don't give a shit about me. Look, guys, if you're on the street and then you tell me, hey, there's nothing to get, and then your family won't help you, then what's the point in being near them? Just move, man. There are better states and counties to deal with. Julie, I don't know where you live specifically, but I just tell you there are remedies. Look, I've dragged more people out of ditches, the woods, families out of cars, elderly people from homeless shelters that were withering away. Look, it's not an impossibility. It's just a matter of you getting somebody that has experience to get you out of that situation. Otherwise, you're going to have a very, very long thought process over the years as you try to figure this out. Because I certainly didn't arrive at the conclusion of dragging people out of homeless shelters and from under bridges last year. It's been 20 years. I know what I'm doing. Moving on. RB, when I lose a voucher up to 60 days in January, how do I make sure I get an extension? Easiest way, my friend. Look, guys, you've got vouchers. They tell you got X number of days. You can get an extension. That is your federal right. The best way to make that happen, even better, even when they say, oh, we're never going to give an extension, stop by the local emergency room. Unfortunately, because of your toe disease, you got a hangnail in your toe. Okay? You got a hangnail. It doesn't fucking matter. The point that matters is your disability, your medical problem prevented you from being able to complete your housing search, and there ain't shit they can do about that. They must grant it. All right? Now, is it that dubious? Absolutely. Look, I tell you guys, I look for the loopholes and we press those and make them work. Now, can you really go say, hey, by the way, I had a hangnail, I was at the yard, and that's the reason why I couldn't complete it? No. We got to come up with something better than that, okay? But you see my point. Oh, all right. I got to take a sip of coffee, guys. Y'all are asking questions every single second, and it's hard to keep up with. It's like a teleprompter. Oh, by the way, Coca-Cola didn't sponsor me. I love those old cups. If y'all remember back in the 70s and 80s when you went to eat at a pizza joint, they had those good cups. They're big like that. That means you don't have to fill up your drink so much. And since I don't require fine crystal cups and goblets and everything, I'm very happy with these. They're easy to wash. I bought a whole flipping box of them from Amazon, and I'm very pleased with this purchase. And there's no doubt with this nice thin round face of mine, I do drink lots of water and coffee. So. All right, so Jasmine Victoria, is there a possibility to move to Florida? Is it too hard to get a voucher there? Florida's nutty buddy right now. Okay, I'm saying that in the casual way, but let's be realistic. Florida's got some problems politically. Okay, politically speaking, in that state, well, I have to be careful how I say this, but unless you've got money, they really don't want you there. Okay. It doesn't matter what color you are. I'm just letting you know the state of Florida just wants people that they believe can afford to live there. It's an unfortunate, shitty situation, and a lot of it's politically motivated both ways. And because of that, they don't like funding what they call welfare programs. Now, imagine that when you receive, let's talk about this welfare we love to use so pristinely on the news and everything and make people feel like shit about it. Okay, let's talk about this realistically. When you reach the age of 62, you can receive your Social Security payment, right? Are you ashamed of receiving your Social Security check? Did you not just work all your life? So why would it be any different than when you pay all your life, work all your life, and put your tax money in? Do you realize one of the other benefits is that if you don't have enough money to get by with housing, you may receive by choice a housing choice voucher. A housing choice voucher is not simply for low income, welfare people of any particular race. It's one of the rights and privileges of being an American. It is not simply for a Republican or a Democrat. So if you can gracefully accept your Social Security payment, then you most certainly should never be shamed into believing that accepting a voucher or a voucher payment in some way should stigmatize you to a point that you feel like you are trash or you're deserving to live in a trailer park or in the hood or whatever it may be. Oh, so I just let y'all got your priorities messed up. Papa, that's my other cat. They're getting serious tonight. My cats, they know when they want me off the video, and they're letting me know we're coming to an edge. So we're going to be doing this wrap up here, probably 10, 15 minutes. Okay, so we're going to keep going. But guys, you don't need to be ashamed. Most of you are retiring. Of course, you're going to be low income. We're all going to be low income when we retire. Some of us will have the luxury of have married somebody, maybe that was an astronaut, but a lot of us will retire with not that much money. And some of us may have to tap the right of being an American to utilize some subsidy to get some flipping housing. But we've let media, the newspaper, and all those plastic bitches on TV that run eyewitness news convince all of you that somehow you're just trash because you're using a voucher. That's the most ridiculous concept. You should never be ashamed of being an American and needing help. You paid into it. Okay? You literally paid for this stuff. Okay? None of you just arrived in the US, did you? So I don't get this. All right, so I'm giving that lecture how I feel about that. But let's call it what it is. All right, I'm going to get on with these questions here. Jill Bowman, same for me. I'm in San Diego, 55 years old, widowed, disabled. Took Espadette in October, still nothing on the streets. Well, I've got to tell you, San Diego is not an easy one. It wasn't even back in October. San Diego is part of that California system. And the problem is Under normal circumstances, it should have worked already within 30 days. But there is one principal problem. When you have too many people from Orange, LA flood the system, then there simply is not enough money to fund it, even if you've got the highest score ever delivered. And so in that case, we have to consider other counties that have less than populations. Okay. Ideal populations for a city, for SBDAT and so on, to receive COC vouchers and so on, would be around the 100 to 125,000 mark. How do I know this? I calculate data all the time to figure out the best. Quad Girl, hey, welcome back. I'm waiting to apply for an apartment. Excellent. I hope that you're going to have a lot of success with that. Maybe Santa will bring you a lease and a key. Mike Lawson, what is PHX? It is a metro looking like for Section 8 housing plus 55. What? Mike, could you rephrase that? That was tricky the way you put it. I'm going to move on to hear back from you. Peaches Gear, I'm in Florida and Jay is working on my case. Yes. Yes, I am. Miss Peaches Gears also is a notable member of the channel. By the way, this channel does have membership. And to explain what that is real quick, I don't need any of y'all to join and get a membership, okay? You know, when you got children in your home and they want to make YouTube videos and they do it about games, you can get a membership. Well, I put up the membership as a joke and some of y'all bought it. But I use the membership, the little $5 y'all give. YouTube takes half, and I take the other half, and I buy cat treats and other things for the benefit of these cats, a lot of which were rescues, which were abused and abandoned and other issues, okay? So whenever y'all joined, I always appreciate that. I mean, it's not much of anything, but, I don't need the help, but it's gratitude that I always appreciate with people. I think we can all relate as pet owners at some point or another. Let's see. Marley, Renee, have you finished your joint project in Birmingham, Alabama? I talked with that landlord for quite a while, and then there was a radio silence, and I never heard back from him. Sometimes that happens. Uh, I thought we were doing well with the gentleman over there, but unfortunately, I think that he lives in a very rural area, and there doesn't appear to be a housing authority that actually constructively does anything where he has his property. But yes, I've never heard anything back, and it does happen. I have landlords come and go all the time. I had a project last year with an investment group that spent about 20 million, hundreds of units, and then they decided not to really take my advice. They wanted to do it their way, and they lost their ass on that deal. Okay, they had to end up buying the property. I was getting people in there, and they kept shutting down. So they could afford a $20 million property, but here's the deal: they could not afford to pay me. You know, that was crazy, right? They got money to blow all over the place, but instead they wanted to pay me like every other week, like it was a joke. And so I just got tired of fucking with them. Okay, that's when greed just gets where it goes. So I just quit fucking with that company. I don't deal with bad landlords. If I discover you're going to be a slumlord, I'm not going to teach you how to ruin good tenants. So I just let their ass go, and good luck to them. They know who they are if they're watching. But yeah, my business is done with them. And not only that, but they made a horrifying mistake when they hired the maintenance company, which ended up turning the whole situation upside down. They hired a ridiculous childlike man that owned a maintenance company to run, a $20 million building. And this guy was nothing short of a party clown with a bunch of Craigslist Tuesday girls working there that didn't know their ass from a hole in the ground. And they were just making my life hell trying to help this guy make money. And so I just thought, yeah. So just to be clear, yeah, I do get some crazy landlords, but I get rid of them. Monique Burns, hey, how's it going? Hey, Jay, all I have is 2 houses available in Detroit. 1,300 for a 4-bedroom, 1,050 for a 3-bedroom. I like Section 8 applications. Hope you don't mind me posting. By the way, guys, if y'all don't know this, take a look in the live chat. That's Miss Monique Burns. She owns probably the second largest Section 8 related or HUD related channel when it comes to that. Some of her videos rank up there with mine. Actually, a lot of them do. And she's also an excellent real estate agent in the city of Detroit. If you guys are from Detroit or live in and around that area, you would want to reach out to Monique Burns, bookmark her name or look her up on Google. Let me tell you something. Here's a lady that can find $20,000, $30,000 houses that are still livable. And look, you're not going to find a house for a song and a dance like you would out there in Detroit. Now, is every house out there that's inexpensive? No. She also has a plethora of rental properties that are perfect. Look, guys, you could be renting 4-bedroom houses for what she's suggesting out there. And she's not going to put you in an area that would likely be some high crime gunshot area. So, your willingness, guys, to live in different areas can make a world of difference. So I would suggest to you guys get in touch with Monique Burns if you're in and around the Michigan and Detroit area. She's superbly good at her job. Okay. So I'm going to move on to the next one. And Monique, it's good seeing you again. I'd love to talk to you again after the holidays here. I've been a busy bee packing my home. And so patriotic. Did I say that right? We'll just call you Mr. or Mrs. Collins. I had a stroke. I was living in Provo, Utah, on Section 8. I had to transfer to Montgomery Bay, California, but it was hilly out there. Well, I'm sorry you had a stroke. I had 2 ischemic attacks, which means there are many strokes because of bad eating and other things. And so that's not your case, but we have a history in our family and went through a lot of health problems this year, continue to go through them. So I think that good, clean living in the Ozarks is going to help. And there's no McDonald's in the woods, so no driving through Mickey D. Damn it. So we've had enough of the McDonald's clown in my life, clogging my veins. Anyways, Miss Collins, I'm sorry to hear about your stroke. If you decide that you need some assistance or some help with your case, you should reach out to me. And there's no cost to that. Just reach out, and I'll see what I can do. If it requires casework, there is some money that's involved in that, obviously, but it's strictly up to you. So I'm glad to have you on the channel. I'm sorry to hear about the stroke, and I look forward to hearing back from you. Quad Gorilla, you missed my question before what you read. Let's take a look back. The last comment I see from you, Quad Gorilla, is I'm waiting for an apartment. Well, that's good news if you're waiting on an apartment. That's very good news. That means the biggest part of the battle is over. Jill Bowman, I appreciate Jay's videos. Jill gets the award today for thanking me. Like I give lectures in every video, just like when we were kids in kindergarten. We were taught from a small age, when we're little, to always think. The thing about it is, guys, I do these videos for free. And a lot of you guys have spent a whole lot more time than you'll ever invest in money in me. And a lot of you get what you need, and you never thank me for it. A lot, 97%. I've got what I need. See that guy later, whatever. You see my point? So anytime somebody recognizes and appreciates or says thank you in my videos, I take that very seriously. It's a common respect that I think we should all have. There's so many things I could be doing right now. I could go get drunk in a bar, right? I'm not going to do that. I could be doing other things, I could be out golfing. Who knows, man? But I'm out here trying to help people that have nobody else that's willing to help them. I'm trying to help you out battle housing authorities that could care whether you live and die. I'm trying to help you get vouchers faster so you don't have to wait till you're 108. I'm trying to help you guys navigate systems that were designed to get rid of you, that don't care about you. So again, when y'all say thank you to me in these videos, that goes a long way. It's the best gift ever. It means more than the almighty dollar or a credit card payment. Okay. Going on. Heather, hey. So here's a member. Y'all see Heather here. She has her name in green and has a gold badge. She's a member. So that means she's supporting the cats and all that I've got, my little membership. And so we appreciate you, Heather. And happy holidays to you and your family as well, and your pets, if you have any. Patricia O'Collins, me too. And Sullivan Bryan says, yes, I remember that. All right, guys. So it's been fantastic to talking with everybody. And I'm going to close with this. When you click on the photo, so you're watching a video of me right now. I know not everybody's skilled with YouTube. When you click on that photo of me, it brings you to the main page. When you get to the main page of my YouTube, you'll see a line of links. And one of those links will be the community page. I prophetically post a lot of information, okay? YouTube doesn't really give me a bulletin board to say things to you guys. So that community page is like a bulletin board. I post every day, and you can learn a lot about me, this channel, my pets, life, and our other clients. Because there's a sense of realism with my channel. I talk with y'all in a very lively way. I often use profanities because I believe that expresses the true intent of somebody. Sometimes I don't. We include pets and animals because I'm a pet lover, and I also include my life because we have enough plastic people making videos that don't give a shit about anybody other than them making ad money. I don't really make that much from YouTube itself, very little, to be honest with you. So when it comes to what it is that I do, I think the most important part is I enjoy what I do and I enjoy talking to you. Why else would I have made over 300 hours or 300 videos over nearly a decade? So you have to care about what you do. You have to especially enjoy it. Mary Semple, thank you for the thumbs up. Monique Burns says, I thank you too. I learned so much and will pass along to the applicants who can call my house or in rent. So, yes. And again, Monique Burns is highly skilled in her area and she does have quite a portfolio. So, if you or guys are out in Michigan, Detroit area, she is definitely the person you would want to talk to. If I trust somebody, then you can trust them too, unless you don't know me that well. So, for me and my 21 rescue cats, we wish you all a very happy holidays, and we will readdress in a couple of days. And we're going to bring out some more interesting stuff. Try to follow our community page where I like y'all's opinions. Let me tell you something: the best source of knowledge are other people. Many of you are former doctors, lawyers, carpenters, electricians, and I plan on using and abusing y'all all the way through that process of building that house in the Ozark because I will be consulting from an RV as y'all watch that process happen. And I know that everybody that follows the 15,000 people that follow me, I know you have all got some advice to lend. All right. Y'all have a beautiful night and a happy holidays. Bye bye.